Hi, I'm Tembi. This is the gorgeous Meg.
Hello.
Today we're going to be talking you through how to highlight and contour for pale skin tones. I've got a nice porcelain tone for Meg's skin tone.
Sometimes I find with paler foundations they can be a bit yellow too.
Yeah, generally you will find that foundations are either a yellow or a pink base. With a fairer skin or a more porcelain complexion, you don't necessarily want to get rid of the pink, so that's why you would opt for the more porcelain tones, because they've got a bit more of that sort of English rosy kind of complexion to them, and that's what we want to maximise on. So now I've evened out the base, I'm going to go straight to the highlight. So I want to be highlighting underneath the eyes in a V shape up onto the cheekbones.
Is that a cream highlighter?
Yeah, it's a cream highlighter. I like to do most of my work with creams first, just because I feel like the texture sinks into the skin a lot better and it doesn't leave it looking too heavy. And I hate to look like the product is just sitting on the skin rather than melting in with it, if that makes sense.
Do you find a sponge easier to blend with?
Yeah, I like to apply it with the brush and then just use the sponge just to make sure the edges are seamless. So you can see by using that light pinky based cream highlighter, we can see how we've lifted up the cheekbone, created a bit of a flatter surface at the front of the face. That's what we're trying to achieve here. Now Meg's already got a really nice nose shape, but just to emphasise it, I'm just popping a tiny bit of the highlight down the bridge of the nose.
That's something I've always been a bit scared to do, is contour your nose, because I don't want it to look too obvious.
That's it, and I feel like sometimes people do it just because they think that they have to. If you've already got a really nice slim or a perfectly shaped nose, you don't have to then try and make it look perfect because it already is. The whole thing with highlighting is to sort of bring something forward. So if you've already got that nose shape, don't worry about this step. I'm just using it to emphasise slightly. So now I've done the highlighting, I'm going to move on to the contouring of Meg's face.
One thing I really wanted to ask you is, how do you stop from contour from looking either too orange or too muddy on pale skin? Because that's the one thing I always find, that it looks too obvious.
It's a big problem. You do want to avoid the orangey toned contour products. Anything that's of a cooler tone, not grey, but a little bit more of a grey undertone to it, and a couple of shades deeper than your natural skin, and then you're going to be onto a winner. Some bronzers, again, can be too orangey, so that's why I like to use a cream first before I use a contour powder. And again, just using my sponge just to make sure those edges are nice and seamless. To make the contour stand out even more, you can even put a little bit of the highlight colour underneath the contour.
I've seen people do that.
Yeah, it's a really nice trick to really make those cheekbones pop and stand out. Again, it's important that you blend the line away, but it does just give that little bit more definition for you. When you're blending, just make sure that you're blending in the shape that you're trying to create as well. Just nice back and forth motions. And keep contact with the brush and your skin as well. No on-off motions like this. Make sure that you're always just going back and forth. So now that I've done all the cream contour work, I'm going to move on to setting it with some powders.
Does that make it last longer as well?
Yeah, so it's all about building layers when you're doing makeup. If you can build lots of thin layers on the face, you'll be able to get a really nice flawless coverage without it looking too heavy. And just use nice light strokes as well. Just going to go a little bit towards the hairline. You've already got a nice jawline, but I am just going to emphasise it slightly by coming right under with the powder. Make sure we're completely blending it away. It's just going to give you that model jawline that we're all after.
I need it. I have got quite a round face, so it's good to get your tips. I suppose as well that helps with making sure your neck isn't a different colour to your face.
Yeah, because you're making sure that you're blending, exactly. So now all the cream work's done with the highlight, I'm going to set with a powder. This is just a light transparent powder, or you could use a translucent that's got very little colour. I always tap off the excess product off my brush as well, just to make sure I don't get it falling all over the place.
So what would happen if you didn't powder?
You just might go a little bit shiny throughout the day, and depending on your skin tone, if you've got a really dry skin tone, you want to really stay away from powders, or use powders that are a bit more moisturising. You can get different formulas in your powders, especially if your skin is a little bit more oily, then you definitely want to make sure that you're powdering just to set the makeup in and absorb any of those oils throughout the day. So my final step, I'm just going to use a nice shimmery highlighter, a powder one, over the tops of the cheekbones.
So for pale porcelain skin, what would you say the best tone is for highlighter?
So for a paler porcelain skin, you want to go with anything that's got a light pinky base. you're thinking about any of the colours that are present within the skin. You kind of want to be staying away from your bronzy based highlighters, because then it's not going to be a highlighter, it's going to be more of a bronzer. So there we have it, that's how to highlight and contour for a pale skin tone. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Like and comment if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to hit subscribe below for more videos like this from Superdrug Loves. See you soon, bye.
Bye.